Jonathan Perkins has entered the transfer portal, and we're going to talk about it after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we got to talk about Jonathan Perkins, as Jason Kersey reported that he has entered the portal. The first of what I would assume is a few to several, depending on who you want to talk to, because we have reached Portal season, which is an awesome video game, and you should definitely play it. But I was just trying to sit and watch Smash Williams run people over and Jason Street coach him up from a wheelchair while doing the rundown from a show tomorrow, when, yes, this news comes across my desk, and I'm like, you know, that doesn't surprise me. Does surprise me for a lot of different reasons. The first of which is Jonathan Perkins has not played in a single game at Oklahoma, which is not a good look, because Alex Grinch is out there saying, look, we played 36 guys against South Dakota. If you didn't play, that's on you. And he played a bunch of freshmen against UCLA. If you didn't play, it's on you. Or didn't travel, it's on you. I understand this is not necessarily what you want to hear, because you don't want to hear about any dude going into the portal. But, hey, man, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. And Jonathan Perkins was a member of this 2019 class, as I recall, the only linebacker commit and signee in this class. Sorry, I had something in my eye. Actually, I think it's still in my eye. Point that I'm making here is Jonathan Perkins, I thought, might be a dude, but seeing as he was recruited by Tim Kish, holdover from the Mike Stoops era, you could see maybe it wasn't a fit. And when I did an interview with him way back when, one of the reasons I asked, or one of the things I asked him was, why did you choose Oklahoma and why did you choose the committee? He's like, I wanted to secure my spot. Okay, I get that. There are kiddos that want to do that from time to time. And yes, there is these offers are time sensitive depending on how good you are. Like if you're 5-star, probably, forever. Ask Clay Helton about Brew McCoy or Chris Steele. If you are not, maybe there is a lower ceiling on or a shorter timeline on what coaches are willing to do or put up with from the likes of you. And knowing what Oklahoma has, particularly an inside linebacker, which is the position that Jonathan Perkins was recruited to play, you could see how that depth chart might be the hardest to move up and down in. Because, yeah, Kenneth Murray Jr. and, of course, Deshaun White, but also Levi Draper, Brian Asamoah, Ryan Jones moved over there. He's been pretty awesome. We can keep going on about this, right? And we can get to a place where Brian Meade is playing before Jonathan Perkins, even as, a walk-on. So, what do? You go where you think you might be able to play, especially if it's not just working out the way that you want it to work out. And I think that's what we're getting here. I don't think that there's more to this except to say, I don't expect Jonathan Perkins to be the last dude from Oklahoma to enter the portal, just like I don't expect this to be the last time that we hear about a guy entering the portal inside of college football. I mean, it's week 5, people. That's what week 5 is going to be. That's what week 5 was last year. Dudes saying, you know what? I'm a red shirt. I'm going to enter the portal, go somewhere else where I feel like the situation is going to work better for me. And yes, we're going to continue to trot out these old arguments about whether or not the redshirt rule and transfer portal are ruining college football and yada, yada, yada. But as it pertains to what does this mean for Oklahoma today, not a whole lot, honestly. Because if he was playing and he was contributing, say the way that Jaden Davis is playing and contributing, but let's say Jaden Davis wanted to enter the portal, which I don't believe is even remotely on the table, then you might have something to be upset about. But to date, not really that broken up about it. I don't think you should be either. I hope Jonathan Perkins succeeds wherever it is that he wants to go. And I think this has more to say about maybe getting the scholarship back, because I don't know if you know this, but Lincoln Riley hadn't put a 2020 quarterback into this class yet. So maybe it's time for that to happen. Maybe it won't happen, to which I'm just, what is this? I don't understand. Like, I'm still getting twisted up about it, because you take a quarterback every single year. You take a quarterback every single year. You take a quarterback every single year. And I get that you might trust Tanner Schaefer or Tanner Mordecai, and you definitely trust Spencer Rattler, but they have knees, and knees have ligaments, and ligaments get torn. It's the way this works. It's college football. Now, Oklahoma has been healthy through the first 3 games, but the odds of that remaining true throughout the entire season, low on the floor. Football is a collision sport. It's one where people get broken in half, quite literally. To think that that might not happen at OU is also not to just pay attention to what happened at Texas. They expected to compete for not just the Big 12 championship, but for the college football playoff spot after winning it. And what have we seen? A decimated secondary. We've seen a decimated running back group. We know that Colin Johnson didn't even play against Oklahoma State, didn't play against Rice the week before that. What I'm saying is, it can happen to anybody, and a rash of injuries can really severely derail your opportunities to win a national championship. Now, whether or not Texas holds up is not my point here. My point here is that you want body. So if you want to find something to be upset about when talking about Jonathan Perkins choosing to enter the portal, maybe it's that you just have one less guy that you can run out there, and one less guy that's going to compete for reps, and one less guy means that you are that much weaker as an entire roster. And I've come to believe that winning national championships is not about your frontline talent. You're starting 11 on offense, you're starting 11 on defense. It's about how deep does your depth chart go? Because if you can legitimately run out 5 dudes at running back like Georgia, and you do, I tend to believe you're pretty stout at that position. And if you can go too deep across, you have that much more of an opportunity to win a national championship. And it's clear that that's what Grinch wanted to do. So the fact that Jonathan Perkins couldn't get into that rotation tells you a lot about how he's been practicing, how he's been performing. I'm not usually the person to side with coaches in this particular way, but in this, Alex Grinch has kept his word. He's lived up to his word. He's been honest about what he sees on the field. He's been honest about experiments that are happening on his defense. So I'm going to leave that up to him and say, man, look, he'll probably have something to say about it, but at the end of the day, this is what it is. Jonathan Perkins is entering. We'll see if he actually leaves. He might actually come back, and Grinch and Riley might actually like to have him back. But to date, that's what it is. So I did the upload. I'm going to go back to watching, Smash Williams do Smash Williams things and try to, do the rundown. Also, shout out to Ron Taylor because I put on cocoa butter before I did this because apparently my elbows be ashy. I make no promises about future uploads. All right, deuces.